We see now currently great Premier League players coming back to coaching. Steven Gerrard, Frank Lampard, Scott Parker. Do you see a trend changing here, where clubs are going to be more open, trying to get back their players to coach the team, get back their former greats to coach the team? Because whatever Solskjaer is doing at Man United is working.
Yeah.
So Frank Lampard at Derby, the Derby team is very, very competitive. They've got good results and things like that. Do you feel it's time for older players to start coming into coaching? And what about Michael Owen?
Well, for starters, I think football is very fashionable. I mean, in 1998, when I was coming into the team, France won the World Cup. So all of a sudden there was Arsene Wenger, then John Tigana, then Gerard Houllier, and we have loads of French managers. And then 4 years later, maybe Spain win it. So then we have Rafa Benitez and Ranieri and lots of Spanish managers. So we're all very fashionable. I think it's a little bit like players. Managers are a little bit like players in that in England it's very, very difficult for young players to get through to the first team because it's so hard and competitive. So if you're a young player and you play in a lesser league, you already have maybe 100 games of experience. And even though our young player is maybe better than you, now you've got experience of playing in that league, you played in the Champions League, you almost overtake our players. And it's the same with coaching. So we tend to buy the ready-made product from abroad as opposed to
trying to grow their own
because
talent,
our young players, a chairman won't normally give them the chance. Thankfully, at long last, we have started to give those players, some of the players that played in my generation, as you mentioned, the Gerrards, the Lampards, a chance. And I only hope and pray that they succeed like they are doing at the moment, because then that gives confidence to everybody else to think, we can trust this next generation of coaches. So I hope that that's the case. I think it should have always been the case. And these players now, the likes of Gerrard and Lampard, you would hope that they would go on to progress through their managerial career and manage the teams that they probably want to manage at the end of it.
Because even at Chelsea, people are like, there has been a following for Frank Lampard to actually come back to Chelsea,
And you know what I think as well is that in management nowadays, it's very different to what it was 10, 15 years ago. So now, these clubs are such huge institutions. They have people scouting, they have people looking after contracts, they have all these different departments. And now a manager, even the title has changed. Now they're first team, they're coaches. So we don't really hear the name manager anymore. So I think now the focus for the manager is really on the team, on coaching, on keeping a great atmosphere, keeping everybody happy. You look after the end of a game nowadays. The manager's always on, patting all his teams on the back, smiley face, And it's a very different way of managing. I know 20 years ago, Sir Alex Ferguson, he was scouting in foreign players. He was coming to watch me playing when I was only 12 years old. He was then doing the contracts for the players. He was then doing the team tour.
Everywhere,
he was then painting the lines in the training ground. He was doing everything. He ran the whole club. Now, everything is done for you. You just have to focus on that first team. So management now is very different, and I think more suitable to players that to come straight out of the game and go into man. Pep Guardiola is a great example. Got the Barcelona job straight from playing. Zidane come straight out of playing,
well.
and they've done so well. So I think it is a model that should continue. The last part of your question was about me.
Can we see?
I always thought I was going to go into management, and I liked the thought of it. But now when I think about it, the commitment is 7 days a week, all year round. There's never a spare moment. I've really enjoyed doing the television. I really enjoy coming out to Malaysia and different other places. I have 4 children. I have a horse racing business. I like playing golf. I've got such a nice life at the moment. So even though I thought I want to, now I think, do I want to give everything up? Everything up to maybe
But you're not really giving everything up. You just
putting it on hold. Yeah. I don't know. I doubt it. I like what I'm doing. As I say, I'm contracted to the television and to other things that I do. So at the moment, I have no plans. But some days I do go to bed thinking I want to challenge myself again.
We have to move on to currently the manager's influence. There's something that I've never seen on a football pitch. Kepa versus Sarri.
Yeah.
Are we developing footballers that are acting like spoiled rich kids in that sense? Because you see this happening. A manager says get off, and he doesn't come off. And what is the whole story about that? I mean, have you seen anything like that before?
I've never seen anything like it, but I think there was maybe a misunderstanding as well, in that I think Kepa, and this is a problem, you know, if like players now get used to getting touched and they limp around for a long time, and this is a problem. If you keep limping around and the manager says, right, I can't have this anymore, I need to make a substitution, and then you say, no, it's okay, actually, well, stop limping then. If I was a manager, stop limping, because if you're going to do that, I need to bring you off. So I think he thought that Kepa was injured, that he needed to come off. Obviously Kepa, even though he's limping, thinks he can stay on. He's like, no, give me more time, I'm okay.
No, but Willy Caballero used to play in Manchester City. He knows how the Manchester City players take penalties. I mean, he's been training with them. Do you think it was a tactical substitution rather than Kepa's injured? Let's bring him off?
I think it was because he was injured, and the manager thought he was injured. So I don't think Kepa was trying to say, no, I'm not coming off. I think he was more saying, no, I'm okay, leave me on, I'm okay, because he was thinking he was injured.
So now you in that situation, do you think the captain should step up?
Yes, I do. I think when there's a bit of
because we didn't really see that in Chelsea.
No, but I think it was more when there's a bit of a misunderstanding. I mean, Kepa really should have ran over to the thingy and said, I'm okay, I'm okay. If you want to bring me off tactically, then okay. But so I think there was more of a misunderstanding. I'm prepared to give Kepa the benefit of the doubt, if I'm honest.
All right. Talking about insubordination, have you seen insubordination now? We have a lot of stories coming out, players not really listening to their managers, and then we saw Kepa versus Sarri and things like that. Have you experienced anything like that when you were playing? Or have you seen somebody, or were managers so fierce and so strict, like if I'm asking you to get off, you get off?
Yes. The world is changing slightly. I think the world is...
Because even like if you played for Sir Alex Ferguson and Sir Alex Ferguson said, come off,
you come off.
You come off.
You come off.
You don't be like, no, I'm fine, and things like that. So, so do you find like some players actually feel that they are invincible and I can get away with this?
Yeah, I think it's a natural course of life. If over time, the players have become probably more powerful, whether it's in their contracts or whether it's their understanding of the dynamics of a team. So, okay, if we have 10 bad results and, it's not me that's going to get sacked, it's the manager, and then I keep I have another chance to impress the next manager. So I think with the game being as it is, with managers changing all the time, with players being reasonably powerful, they can always, especially if they're a good player, they can always, okay, I will leave to go somewhere else.
Exactly.
So I think it's just an understanding, but it would be like this in any industry. If you hold the cards, if you hold the aces, and you're in power, then you can use that to get yourself a better deal, to do whatever. So it's not very nice, I think, for the traditionalists that always think that the manager should be the man that controls things or whatever, because their power is almost being changed.
But talking about that Chelsea dressing room, first it was Jose Mourinho. They did well, and then apparently he lost faith from his players. Antonio Conte, same thing. Do you think the same thing is happening to Sarri? And if it is happening to Sarri, do you think the problem is not with the manager, but in that dressing room itself?
I think it's a very difficult dressing room to manage, yes. I think there's a lot of big names, big stars. They live in a beautiful area in Chelsea. They're all getting paid very well. I think a lot of them are very experienced and won World Cups and won big titles all around the world. And I think they have an opinion. And, if they don't like the manager, then, I'm sure that, they will speak to their friends, speak to their agents, maybe the chairman will find out, and, and they can almost be a little bit destructive in the dressing room. So, and I've no doubt that Chelsea is one of the hardest changing rooms to manage at the moment, yes.